Storytime animals. Have you ever been in a situation and you knew the exact moment your life was in danger? A couple of years ago, that was me. I basically ended up running for my life, and I still haven't completely forgiven myself for letting it happen. I was a freshman in college, the first of my family to ever go, so I had no idea what to expect. I didn't want to stay in my hometown, so I went to a college 5 hours away. It was a regular community college, nothing special, but not too far away there was a university where all the rich kids went. Since the two schools were so close together, sometimes we would find ourselves in the same places. Well, one day, I went to the local pizza place, and I ran into this guy. I could tell right away he was from the other school, so I did my best to avoid him. I ordered my pizza, picked a table the furthest away, and tried to mind my business. I wasn't even paying attention when out of nowhere, someone sits down in the chair across from me. I look up to see him, the guy from the other school, trying way too hard to look friendly. He told me his name was Edwin, and asked me where I went to school. I can't explain it, but I could see his eyes light up when I told him. Edwin asked me if I had ever been golfing or hunting, and I hadn't. I'm pretty much a city kid, and looking back, I think that's why he chose me. He knew it would be harder for me to get away. I didn't expect it, but after I told him I had never done either, he invited me on a hunting trip. It was a little weird, and I did feel like maybe I shouldn't go, but I was just too curious. We didn't have money growing up, and I wanted to see what Edwin's life was like. I still didn't say yes right away, but after we sat and talked for a while, I agreed. Edwin gave me his number, and told me he would pick me up from my dorm that weekend. When I left the pizza place, I remember thinking how Edwin was nothing like we all thought the people from that school would be. In a way, I was right, but what I didn't know is he was so much worse. The day came when I was supposed to go hunting, and my roommate kept telling me I shouldn't go. At the time, I thought he was just jealous, so I ignored him. I guess he could feel something that I couldn't. The day started out better than I ever could have thought. Edwin picked me up in a car I had only seen on TV, and we drove to his parents' estate. That was the first time I realized houses with gates were real. The entire time I thought Edwin and I would be hunting alone, but when we got inside the house, there were 4 other guys waiting for us. That was the first time I felt like I needed to get out of there. I felt like they were all sizing me up, and at the time I assumed it was because they thought they were better than me. We were all sitting having a drink, and it was getting pretty awkward, so I asked everyone how long they had been hunting, and it went from awkward to flat out weird. One of the guys said he had been hunting all his life, but he had only been doing this kind of hunting for the last 3 years. In my mind, I was like, what the fuck is this kind of hunting? But on the outside, I didn't panic. I just asked him what he meant. That's when they all started explaining that they do night hunting, how it's so much better. I'm confused because I told Edwin that I've never hunted before, and I crack a joke about them being careful, that I don't mistake them for a deer since it's going to be dark. But nobody laughs, and then it happened. The exact moment I knew my life was in danger. I asked where the bathroom was, climbed out of the window, and ran for my life. I never told anyone what I saw that day, but there on the bookshelves were night vision goggles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pairs. That's when I knew they weren't planning on hunting animals.